Hello, my name is Joseph. I started playing guitar about 1 month ago. Never really played guitar before. I played a little bass when I was in middle school, but all I really knew were the letters of the alphabet and how to find the notes on the fretboard, and I could play a few songs, but I never really got into the music theory or reading sheet music or anything like that. Never played a guitar chord up until I purchased that Fender Strat about a month ago, and then I got this acoustic guitar, which is a Taylor 414 CER. I got this about a week ago. So there's some songs that I wanted to learn that just sound a lot better on the acoustic, and then there's some songs that just are made for the electric, obviously. So I got a subscription to Guitar Tricks, and I've gone through Guitar Fundamentals 1. I've gotten pretty good at my open chord changes. Still need a little bit of work. I've also gotten where I can start getting some tone on the bar chords. I know my major open scales in this region and can play those decently. And then I know a few melody tunes that I've been working on for some songs, but I don't know that many songs yet. There are some simple songs on Guitar Tricks that I have learned. The simple version of Simple Man, which is just 3 chords. Also the simple version of Soul Asylum, which is really just the rhythm guitar in Soul Asylum. And then I've learned Johnny Cash's version of Hurt, and so I've been kind of learning. So I can play you a few things. Obviously I've learned some open chords. So that's a D chord there, and I actually have trouble with that on the acoustic with the pinky version. There's also a version where you go like this. That's a little bit easier, but there's a lot of chord changes that just are much easier if you can get that pinky one down. And then there's also this suspended 4th chord that you can't really hit unless you have that free index finger. So I've been trying to improve that pinky G. So that was basically the simple version of Simple Man, and it's just this A minor chord, 2 measures of A minor with that strumming pattern, 1 measure of C major with the strumming pattern, and then 1 measure of the G with the strumming pattern, and then you just repeat that. So that's a pretty simple version. There's also the Soul Asylum's Runaway Train song, the rhythm guitar part. It starts off on C. There's just a couple measures of that in the intro, and then it goes into a verse. So that's that version of the song. I've also started working on bar chords so I can get clean tone, for instance, on this B minor here. So that's been some improvement. It was very difficult at first, and I can get, on the F sharp here. It's a little bit harder on the acoustic guitar, but you can play a couple of little tunes with those. It's So I'm still working on the transition of those chords. Like I said, I've also learned some of the major scales. Wait, hold on. E major in 2 octaves. You also have the A major in 2 octaves. You have the D in 1 octave. No. And you have the G in 2 octaves. And then your C. So, yep, and I understand the theory of moving the bar chords down there and just changing and using your open chord positions anywhere on this fretboard to get the chords that you're interested in. However, I haven't experted those transitions. So, and then I've also looked at some power chords, which I can show you that on the electric guitar, and some melodies I'll show you on the electric guitar. So here's my handy dandy Strat. So like, so it's a lot easier for me to do this D chord on the electric guitar. Actually, all of this is much easier on the electric guitar. The action's not as high, and the fretboard's much easier to get my hand around. So when I practice on the acoustic, I feel like it's so easy when I move back to the electric. So that's a positive thing, and plus the acoustic really has built some strength and dexterity in my hand. So I enjoy learning them both, actually. So, but then you have power chords, you can give it a little distortion, and you can go. So that's just an example of distortion. I could turn the gain up and get a little bit more on the amplifier that I have, but then there's also some nice little melodies. I can, you know, do the blind melon melody. So that's one melody that I got, and then what else have I learned? You know, don't know much melodies. There's the Soul Asylum one where it's something like that, and then there's the House of the Rising Sun, so I can put it on the bridge here, and it's oops, messed that up. Let's start that over. So I'm not great at, you know, arpeggiating the chords as so. Still trying to get the hand-eye coordination. Still trying to learn the more advanced strummings, but that's basically what I've learned in a month. Like I said, I've been my practice routine has been using guitar tricks. I practice about 45 minutes in the morning before I go to work. I come home. I live right down the road, so I come home. I eat lunch really quick, and I play for 30 minutes. And then I get home, play for anywhere from an hour and a half to 3 hours sometimes. So I'd say I'd average throughout this month about 3 hours a day. I've been keeping somewhat of a journal, but haven't been very accurate on tracking the time. So if I had to estimate, I would say I have about 90 hours on the guitar. And really I've fallen in love with it. It's going to be a journey. I look forward to many, many more years of playing. My personal goal is to get 1,000 hours in a year, which is pretty ambitious, and if I achieve it, I think I'm going to reward myself with the Gibson Les Paul to get that humbucker tone for some of those rock and roll songs that I love to listen to and look forward to playing once I get good enough. So that's about all. And, yeah, one other thing is I'm going to try to keep this progress going on the YouTube channel, so stay tuned and follow me if you're interested in to see my progress throughout this year.